What up, guys? Brandon here. Let's get into this NZDCHF possible sell situation. So I don't want to take too long on this here, but I just want to quickly go over it. All right. So on the monthly time frame, we can see that overall NZDCHF, the New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc, has been predominantly bullish for its inception, ever since its beginning of time. Right? Since NZDCHF has been an asset that we trade, it has been predominantly bearish with little minor bull swings ever so often having this one here from 95 to about 97, but most of them not really lasting that long. Now presently we can tell that NZDCHF again is, as of right now, bearish. Now NZDCHF is also consolidating at this point, and we need to take a look at what's going on here now. NZDCHF is consolidating, and that's interesting because obviously the market only really has two states. It can only really do two things. It can either consolidate or it can move, whether it reverse or continue. Now, when the market is consolidating, there's a reason for that. It's most likely because it is trying to capture orders and very, very likely inducing traders to go the wrong direction. Let me ask you the question. Who do you think is interested in the market here at this low? I think I just sold it out there. I'm thinking that it makes more sense for buyers to become interested because nobody in their right mind would want to sell at such a low price. I'm saying that because I know I'm not in my right mind, right? The reason why I'm saying that is, again, I have a law. If you follow me or you've traded with me or learned from me or I taught you in any capacity, you would have heard me say this before. Never go against the momentum unless a reversal is clear. This is a law that I have created for myself many years ago, and it's something that guides me to this day. Looking at this, NZDCHF is bearish. I do not believe that it has anything that clearly justifies a reversal. Therefore, I am going to continue to sell. That being said, like I said, most people will think that I'm crazy for trying to sell in a market that is so predominantly bearish and so low. Most people try to buy. Let's keep going. Looking at the weekly time frame, you have the last week clearly rejecting the top side. Now that is something interesting. That's information that we could use. As a trader, the big part of what it or the biggest part of what you do is to gather data and be able to use that to your advantage. So let's keep going. On the daily time frame, the last day has also closed as a bearish engulfing. What does a bearish engulfing after bullish rejection suggest to you? It suggests sells, right? Now, obviously, you don't just see that and then say, well, okay, well, let me just sell blindly and randomly. So let's keep going. The forward time frame again suggests that bearish momentum is clearly coming in. It makes absolute sense to me as to why, because anybody who would have sold here thinking that they got the timing right, anybody who would have sold here would have been absolutely destroyed by that. All right, and now you have the market free to sell. So it even further clarifies my point where traders not going to want to sell here because they're thinking it's too low to sell. So let's keep going. The 1 hour time frame doesn't add any new information. The 15-minute doesn't really add any new information, but the market just recently opened. By the way, I am in a sell as we speak, but the 1 minute time frame does provide some interesting information. So let's look. These are the zones. Let me just change the color of these zones here so we can have a better understanding of what's going on. Right, I'm just going to change the color of these zones to say green. Right, nice. So what do we have here? So the market recently opened, spread calmed down and everything. So the market, the open spread that you would typically see where the spread is like, normally the spread would be like that. On market open, you might find the spread like that, right? That has since calmed down. So I don't think that that is something that I need to worry about right now. And I am in the sell, but let me explain why. So we have this zone here. Now, what does this zone represent? This zone represents all of the traders. Let me change the color of that here again. We make that a little, let's make that purple, right? So this zone here, right, represents buyers interested at the low. And right here, these buyers would have been stopped out. This area now represents sellers who would have come in, like myself. Most sellers, if they are trying to sell, they want, because they know that this is a risk. It's you're selling at a very, very low price. If you are selling here, in my opinion, I think it makes sense. If you are a normal trader and you're not thinking too much into this, you just think that it makes sense to sell here because it's a break and retest per se. And I do agree that that is exactly what it looks like. It does look like a break and retest, right? If that is the case, where would I, if I was a normal trader, just not thinking too much into this, where would I put my stop loss? I would put my stop loss either right above here, which would be very, very tight. Let me change the color to red. Or I would put my stop loss above here because that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Now, if you notice, my stop loss is actually above not the first zone, not the second zone, but the third zone. Why? Because if the market breaks past here, I still have a chance for it to come back down. Remember, there's nothing that's suggesting a reversal to me. So I'm just trying to make it such that my stop loss is not in a very, very obvious area. I can still be stopped out, as you know, as anyone who has traded for any duration of time, you do know that anyone can be stopped out regardless of how good your analysis is. But I digress, right? The reality of the situation here is, in my opinion, nothing about this market suggests buys to me. Nothing. Everything speaks to sell. Every single data point, right? Do I think I am justified in selling it? Yes, I do. I do think I am justified in placing the sell here, as I am comfortable with the risk that I have perceived here and I have come into contact with. My stop loss is just a little over 13 pips, and I'm comfortable with that. If it stops me out, it stops me out. But guess what? A lot of the time you might find, and I'm not saying that this is absolutely going to happen, but a lot of the time you might find where it might come back, take out these traders, and then continue to drop. Let's see what happens. Let me know what you think. Let's see how it goes. I will see you guys for the update if there isn't a reason to update. If not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. See you soon.